sell IWM at 243 around December, November. And they were also willing to sell it at 243 around October. But people were actually willing to buy it around December and through February or March. Now we are going to take it down to a week and see what happens. So we have a huge gap from 170 all the way up to 240. There's obviously some points of support and resistance within this range. The clear resistance that I see is right here at 200. And I'm going to go ahead and I'll make that line orange. Actually, you can't really see that. So I'll just make it black. Okay, we're on a week time frame. There's a level of resistance over here at 200. Why do I say there's a level of resistance at 200? Resistance, 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 some sort of support, but buyers didn't want to step in at 200. Ultimately, it fell to the next support at 170. A point of support over here and a point of support over here. This is what I'm saying when you see the reactions. So we have tension at this price point at 200 right here. But when nobody wanted to buy it at 200, where was the next price that IWM went? It went down to 170, where people were previously willing to pick it up for 170 in the past. So that's why you want to look at older charts, or at least like higher time frames, so that you could see where buyers were actually willing to step in or where sellers were willing to step in. And like I said, the longer a stock hits this price point, the weaker it's going to get. You saw that IWM hit 200 a couple of times before it was able to push past 200. And that's because sellers kept stepping in, and then buyers were able to overpower the sellers and push it past 200. Now we're going to identify our level of resistance. It's a little bit hard to see a point of resistance on this time frame, and it's not always going to be perfect and clean and exact. But I could say, like this point of 230. Why? Because people were willing to sell it over here, and then over here came some point of resistance. Why do I say that? Because it stayed in the range and there was consolidation. So someone was propping it up from 230 and people were selling it at 240 in this range of consolidation. And over here, we have some support coming in at 230. Not super clean, but you got to work with what you got. So now we're going to take it down to a 1 day time frame, and as you can see, it starts to get sloppier. That's why I say you want to look at these higher time